Ahora sí, good afternoon. The time is 6:15. A business committee meeting of the Board of Trustees of UISD is being held today, Tuesday, November the 7th, 2017, beginning at 6:15 p.m. in the UISD Boardroom, Laredo, Texas. The subjects to be discussed or considered or upon which any formal action may be taken are as listed below. Items do not have to be taken in the order shown on this meeting's notice. Number one, listed below are the financial and operations items to be reviewed by business committee members with recommendation for action to be made at the next regular board meeting. A, action items to be reviewed at the regular board meeting on November the 15th, 2017, with recommendations to be made by the business committee. Number one, approval of monthly disbursements.
Yes, sir. Good evening,
Mr. Flores.
Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Rodriguez. The Division of Finance has presented you all with the disbursements for the month of October. I don't know at this time if you have any questions.
You have any questions in regard to that?
It's off.
Mic check 1, 2. Mike.
Okay. We presented you with the disbursements for the month of October. I don't know if you have any questions at this time.
No, sir. No, sir, we were, okay. All right. Number two, approval of budget amendments.
Yes, sir. The Division of Finance is presenting you with one budget amendment. It's BA 18-01. This is going to go along with item number 3. We're asking for financing to purchase some of these items. Quickly, you can see here that we're going to purchase about $6 million worth of band instruments, $2.7 million for a furniture replacement plan for school furniture district-wide. Another big item is the buses and vehicles and transportation for about $5 million. All the other items are pretty much vehicles for different departments throughout the district. We're asking for $16 million even, so the $223,000 that's in excess is going to come out of fund balance. We can go on to the next. That was the financial breakdown and the impact on the budget. But you can go down to the next page. Here's the breakdown of what we're actually going to buy. If you look at the top, what we call the white fleet, these are cargo vans, trucks, 2 big bobtail trucks, and 5 police units. That's totaling $2 million. We also have out of the transportation department, we're going to buy 36 regular buses, 11 special ed buses, 2 PEP program buses, excuse me, and 3 Suburbans for the transportation department. And then we're going to buy 2,735 band, I guess you could call them instruments, but there's 2,735 pieces of instruments for replacement. These are going to replace band instruments that are 15, 18, and 20 years old. So they're going to get a massive upgrade with our band equipment. And then we're also going to furnish the band equipment for the new middle schools for Herrera Middle School and Highway 359 Middle. That total cost will be about $6 million. Then we have a district-wide furniture replacement, like I said before on the previous screen, of $2.7 million. And then we're going to buy 26 metal detectors for $135,000. So in total, out of the $16 million, we're going to be able to purchase $15,981,215 worth of capital equipment. And then you can see the breakdown at the very bottom. What we did was we broke out those items that are going to last about 10 years, and then the ones that are going to last over 10 years, but no longer than 15 years. And the asterisks that you see there, those are the items that are going to be over 10 to 15 years. This is important because when we talk about the structure and how we are going to pay off the financing, we want it to match our payments on the debt structure with the life of these assets. So we're going to have higher payments up front because most of these assets will fully depreciate, and then a few payments towards the end for those assets that are going to last longer than 10 years, but up to 15 years. We have Robert Tijerina from Estado Hinojosa. If you want to call out item number 3, and then he'll come up here and explain that.
Before Mr.
Yes,
Hinojosa, I just got a question. In regard to the fleet that we have, in regard to the buses,
yes, sir.
there was a little incident a couple of weeks or so in the mines road, in regard to the bus. Supposedly the buses were stopping on the main drag of the mines road. And dropping off the students. Of course, this person did not see, for whatever reason, did not see the bus or the red lights of the bus. But what I'm trying to get is to get into those areas where supposedly those kids live, in not just on the Mines Road, but some other areas that I went around, check it out. We need some medium-sized buses, like the cargo type of buses, like the one that they have for the Rio Bravo and so forth, that type of buses. I don't know, do you kind of see the size, sir, on your mind?
Right, in that area, that little subdivision that you're referring to, we cannot get a full-size bus, and it's impossible to get in and get out of there. We have changed that bus stop, though. We already informed the parents.
Right, but what I'm trying to get is to avoid anything like that, that happened, not just that particular day, but some other areas in some other years. In areas like that, I guess we do, besides the study in looking for an area to drop the kids, to get to the location, at the same token, we had to look for the safety of those kids. The safety, not just because we found already a location to drop them before they get it, depending on the distance, of course, and it's understandable, but at the same token is to have some kind of facilities or vehicle for them to get him closer, to get to that area where it's kind of tight to get those large regular buses, because they used to get in there years back before there was a turnaround, but of course now it's used for some other business. So something like that, it would be great to have. It will not be an excessive vehicles for the district, because we're growing and we gotta stop seeing something like that and avoid any kind of circumstances of an accident or something, just for the safety. Just like I said, finding the right place, yes, but at the same time, within the find the safety for those, for not to occur any accident or anything.
We'll look, Mr. Ramirez, see if there is such a bus and meets the requirements. The only issue that we have sometimes, those small little buses, you don't have to use 2 or 3 at somewhere else, and it makes it difficult financially to be able to do that, but we'll look at that.
Yeah,
We'll look at that for you.
I know there's a way, yes, sure.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And you noticed that we also have Suburbans under the Transportation Department, so that may also help out a little bit. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinojosa. I don't know.
But I believe you have to call up item number 3.
Yeah,
so we
you
can
would
come-
go to item number 3.
Okay, let me go to, okay, number 3, approval of an order or authorizing the insurance of United Independent School District Public Property Finance Contractual Obligations, Series 2018, entering a bond purchase agreement and paying agent register agreement, delegating to certain district administrative staff and officials the authority to approve all final terms of the contractual obligation and other matters related to.
Thank you,
Thereto.
members of the board. Again, for the record, my name is Robert Tijerina with Estrada Hinojosa, and I'm here this evening to present the plan of finance for the PPFCOs, also known as Public Property Finance Contractual Obligation Series 2018. Mr. Flores went over page 1, and that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of the presentation. I know he worked on it along with Mr. Zuniga and Ms. Benavides. It's a lot of detailed information. We appreciate them providing it to us. But on this page, page 2, this is a summary of the district's existing M&O maintenance and operation debt starting from left to right. On the principal, interest, and total under your outstanding debt, those are the Series 2009 and Series 2008 M&O debt financings that were done years back. And again, maintenance and operation, your existing M&O tax rate is $1.04. So the financing that we're considering or discussing today and the board will be considering next week will not increase the M&O tax rate. This financing, the objective is to keep the M&O tax rate the same. Ms. Benavides, Mr. Flores are going to allocate existing funds in order to make the debt service payment on this $16 million PPFCOs. Now, in the middle of this page, we have the Series 2018 financing, principal, interest, and total. As Mr. Flores stated earlier, the goal is to pay off an additional $2.3 million of principal on those projects that have a lifetime of about 10 years or less for the first 10 years. So if you notice on this page, the total is about $1.4 million all the way down for the first 10 years, and then we drop to about $1.15 million. The remaining 5 years, we're paying off the remaining 13.7. We'll be paying that off. So it goes from $1.4 million to about $1.15 million, giving you a total of about $19,881,000. We're using a preliminary interest rate of about 3.03%, so we're hoping the market stays into place. I believe your staff has done a great job of monitoring the interest rates over the years. From last year to this year, the Fed has increased interest rates 3 times. The discussion is that the Fed is going to increase interest rates next month, but that's already priced in the market. We don't think there's going to be any fluctuation after next month in December, so we plan to price this early next year. So if you turn to page 3 of the presentation, this timetable, again, we're presenting this evening in the Business Committee. Next week, it'll be presented to the board on November the 15th. If that item is approved, if this item is approved, we'll be having 2 rating calls on the week of December the 11th, right before the holidays. Due diligence call, rating call with Moody's and Fitch, and we'll receive the bond rating on January the 8th. We'll price the bonds on January the 17th, and we'll close the financing on February the 19th. This is all based on discussion with Mr. Flores and Ms. Benavides on when the funds will be needed by the school district. So that's why we're pricing this financing a little earlier than normally we would price, which would be in the summer. On page 4 is the working group participants. Of course, we have the issuer, United Independent School District, financial advisor, bond counsel, Winstead, and Mr. Martinez. Dan Martinez couldn't be here, but we also have representation from co-bond counsel Sonia from J. Cruz and Associates. The underwriters, after talking with Ms. Benavides and Mr. Flores, Stiefel Nicholas would be senior, Frost Bank and Citigroup would be the co-managers, and the Underwriters Council would be Locke Lord, and the paying agent would be Wells Fargo Public Finance. I know it's a lot of information, but this has been something that's been going on for many months with this discussion with ourselves and with staff. And again, they did a great job of presenting all the items with the estimated costs. There's any questions from the committee?
Not right. No, sir.
No, sir.
That was fine.
Thank you very good.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good presentation. Thank you, sir. Number 4, approval of a resolution declaring intention to reimburse certain expenditures.
Yes, sir. This is a reimbursement resolution item, and I believe you have a true attorney in Sonia that could, in case I speak out of line, but this item is in case any of the projects that Mr. Flores went over with, if you use any cash from your fund balance on hand to take care of these items from today going back 60 days from today. So if we're November the 7th going back to September the 7th and 3 years forward, this item allows you to reimburse, get the bond proceeds, and put the money back into the general fund. That's if you use any cash on hand from the fund balance. Any of these items need to be taken care of sooner rather than later. If they cannot be, you can't wait to pay for them in February. They need to be taken care of now. This allows you to use the fund balance. When you get the cash from the PPFCOs in February the 19th, you can take those bond proceeds and reimburse yourself. Absolutely. It's just a safety net in case that is something that happens down the road.
That's good. Any questions?
No, sir. Thank you, Mr. Tejeda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinojosa. Number 5, approval of property tax refunds for the month of October 2017.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Ramirez, Mr. Rodriguez. I bring to you the approval of property tax refunds for the month of October. We have an overpayment of $900 from the taxpayer MRK Investment Corp. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry, I said quiet because I was looking. Okay, let me see. Number 6, approval of resolutions for the election of board of directors for the Ware County Appraisal District.
Yes, good evening. We bring to you the resolution for the approval of the election of Board of Directors for the Webb County Appraisal District. The United Independent School District is entitled to cast 2,140 votes to elect a member of the Board of Directors of the Webb County Appraisal District. 840 votes are needed for a seat on the Board of Directors of the Webb County Appraisal District. If I can read the resolution to cast our votes.
Can we do it right now?
We can do it now.
Yes.
And this way, then we'll put it as a consent. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
We can do
The resolution reads, whereas the United Independent School District is participating entity in the Webb County Appraisal District, and whereas the United School District is entitled to 2,141 votes to be cast for the candidates for the Board of Directors of the Webb County Appraisal District. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved by the Board of Trustees of the United Independent School District that these votes be cast as follow: 840 votes for Judd Gilpin, 840 votes for Alisa Flores Oliveros, 461 votes for Jackie Levin Ramos. Passed by the Board of Trustees of the United Independent School District on the 15th day of November 2017.
Do we have to, as a board, do we have to approve it, or?
Yes,
Ma'am?
yes.
It'll be approved the day of the board meeting.
I'm sorry?
In the agenda for next, yes.
For next meeting?
For next, yes.
Okay.
Thank
It'll be
you.
done for next meeting with the whole board.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Mariel. Approval of board members travel to attend the TASB full legal.
Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, Ms. Flores Oliveros attended a conference, and this is her travel, so see for the board to approve it. This was in Austin.
This was a seminar in Austin.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is only for one board member?
Yes,
already took
yes.
place.
There's only one.
Okay. All right. Oh, seminar in Austin, okay. Number 8, approval of memorandum of understanding between the United Independent School District Police Department and the Laredo Independent School District Department.
I'm not sure if you all have any questions on the MOUs, basically to make sure that, y'all know Mr. Garner's here is ready to make sure we work together.
Mr. Gardner?
Good evening. This MOU is a generic assistance where LISD and UISD will come together and assist each other. There's no cost to either district.
The jurisdiction will be equal in regard to the help of, meaning that if an officer is needed from our district?
Yes, if they need us and we're available, then we'll send officers over there to assist them and vice versa.
So it's okay within the law and everything, Ms. Garcia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Number 10, approval of awarding bids, proposal and qualifications. Ms. Jackson.
Oh, I
Number
think we gotta go to number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9,
Yes.
approval of additional membership of the TASB Energy Corporation.
Good
Ms.
evening, board
Jackson.
members. What we have here is an interlocal with TASB, and there is no cost. All this will be is, we currently have an RFP for fuel, where we do a daily quote whenever we need to buy bulks of fuel for our different transportation compounds. All this will do is will allow TASB to compete with the current vendors that we already get prices from. So it's just an additional source, see if we're able to save money. That's what it is.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me see. Number 10, approval awarding bids, proposal, and qualifications, Ms. Jackson.
The following are for your consideration. RFP 067-2017, stereo equipment and PA supplies to ACES Consulting, audiovisual aids, Aves Audiovisual, and J. Pepper and Sons and Sweetwater. RFP 067-2017, HVAC labor and materials to Sunbelt Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Services. RFP 068-2017, band instrument repairs to Alamo Music Center, Hillg Music Center, Music and Arts, and the Band Shop. We also have 3 renewals for your consideration.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you, ma'am.
ma'am. Number 10, 11, approval of request from board members and use of board trustees to discretionary funds for various projects, campuses.
Mr. Ramirez, in addition to the requests that are included in your board packet, there's 2 additional requests that I'd like to read into the minutes. One is from the Sports Services Department, Mr. Mike Barron, the director, sponsored by Mr. Rick Rodriguez and Mr. Ramiro Vélez III. Their staff appreciation is $750 each for a total of $1,500. And we have a request from United Middle School, Principal Rebecca Morales, sponsored by Mr. Javier Montemayor Jr., for football ad publications 2017-18 in the amount of $300.
Thank you. Number 12, first and final reading of revised BE local policy.
Good evening. I'm going to go over it very quickly. There were some revisions that are being suggested to be e-local, which concerns the board meeting procedures. So what's being recommended, and you have a copy in front of you with the recommended revisions, are that the regular meetings of the board shall normally be held on the 3rd Wednesday of each month, beginning at 6 p.m. And then if you go down to the agenda section, it is recommended that there be a revision that agenda items that are not discussed and considered at the business or instructional committee meeting shall not be placed on the agenda unless approved by the board president and as requested by 3 board members when special circumstances exist. And the next section regarding deadlines, the deadline for submitting items for inclusion on the agenda is the 6th calendar day before regular meetings and the 6th calendar day before special meetings to allow the administration time to prepare documentation unless special circumstances exist, in which case 3 board members may request that an item be added to the agenda within 3 calendar days of the regular or special called meeting. And then on the next page, page 2 of 3 of the policy, if you go down midway, it says, in reviewing the preliminary agenda, the board president shall ensure that any topics the board or any 2 board members have requested will be placed on the instructional or business meeting agenda. And in that same section, in bold, there's been some deletions in there. And then what's going to be added is that the board president shall ensure that any topics the board requests to be addressed shall be on the agenda of the monthly regular board meeting following the submission of the request. If the agenda item cannot be posted on the board meeting immediately following the submission of the request, the agenda item will be included on the following month's regular board meeting agenda, and the board president shall not have authority to remove from the agenda a subject requested by 2 board members without specific authorization from those board members. And those are all the suggested revisions, and it will be placed on next week's agenda as a first and final reading. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
No,
Okay.
ma'am, we,
Thank you.
okay,
Thank
so
you.
thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Let's go to, I lost it, hold on. There we go. B, Information items to be presented to the Business Committee, Finance Division Monthly Financial Report. Ms. Benavides.
Good evening, Mr. Ramirez, Mr. Rodriguez, members of the audience, Mr. Santos and Ms. Garcia. We have our Superintendent's Monthly Financial Report as of October 31st. There you'll see our cash investment balance of $242,192,326, and you'll see the breakdown of the different funds. A good portion of this is still our bond money, where our construction program is still going strong. The yield on the portfolio is 1.21%, and rates are going up very, very little, but they are going up. Our current pull rate is 1.17. Administrative cost ratio, we're at 8.45. We budgeted 8.42, and both those are within the amount allowed by TEA. Our financial report, our unaudited financial statements, we budgeted $353.5 million in revenue. We recognized $92.6 million as of October 31st. We're at 26.20% of our revenue, our budgeted revenue, and last year at this time we were at 25.05. And our expenditures are $359.1 million. We've spent $85.3 million. We're at 23.76%, and last year at this time we were at 22.8%. Our tax office report shows a current collection rate of 8.16%. We just sent out statements in September, and we've started collecting. There has been some mortgage companies that have paid. There's been lines at the tax office already. We've collected $15.9 million of our levy, and then to date, we're at 10.11. So as we're getting closer to the end of the year, we'll get more, and then the delinquent date, or the last day will be January 31st. Our delinquent collection rate is 31.91, or $2.1 million. To date, it's at 32.49, and there's a comparison to this time last year at 32.55%. The purchasing report section includes all the bids and proposals awarded through October 31st, and the grants report has the activity that's been going on in the grants department for this past month. So that's it for me right now.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, Ms. Benavides.
Thank you.
Number 2, report of internal audit department's external quality assessment. Ms. Stahl.
Good evening, Mr. Ramirez, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Santos, and the audience. I bring to you for your information the Quality Assessment Report for United ISD's Internal Audit Department. This is a self-assessment with independent external validation, and it was performed by our independent validator, Ms. Gigi Flores, who's here in the audience from Flores Auditing. We did receive a rating of generally conforms, which is the highest ratings of 3 ratings that are available from the Institute of Internal Auditors. And this external evaluation or quality assessment report is required at least every 5 years for us to be able to state that we are in compliance with the standards and that we follow the standards when we are performing our audits. We did have one observation recommendation on the report, which pertained to the Quality Assurance and Improvement Program, which states that we should be ensuring that at least annually we do have a periodic internal assessment and communicating those results to the board. So as part of that, when we do bring the audit plan for the board's approval in September, we will include a report and a statement stating whether we are still in compliance with the standards. And that's about it. But if you have any questions for Ms. Flores, she is right here, available.
Want to say some words, Ms. Flores?
Again, a pleasure being of service to you all. Your internal audit department is running even better than the last time I reviewed. Very professional work.
Thank you very much, and I'm pretty sure they really took for granted the education that Ms. Flores gave them before they came in. Ms. Benavides received the same.
I had the honor of working with both Lyda and Martha.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. Thank you very much. Ms. Hall?
Thank you.
Thank you. No public comments? We're ready to adjourn.